Makasaysayang araw po sa ating lahat, lalo na sa ating mga nanonood sa ating live audience. No? Last time, nag-garner po ng napakaraming views ang ating live. At kapag naman ako yung nag-YouTube, tapos nagsasalita ako, wala namang nanonood sa akin. Pero pag sa klase, parang interesado ang lahat. In fact, sa book sale, sa Tarlac, yung book sale Tarlac na empleyado doon, nung nakita niya ako, sabi niya, "Sir, napanood ko yung klase niyo. At nanood ako at nakinig ako at may natutuhan po ako." May isa rin pong isang sikat na historiador na nag-message sa atin na sinabi po niya na natutuwa daw siya na makita na sumasagot ang mga estudyante ko sa discussion. So, maraming salamat po. Usually kasi ako ay usually nag-aano lang. Anong tawag doon? Nagle-lecture. Alam ni na Orong yan. Miss Orong. Hindi, joke lang. Discussion naman kayo kasi online na kayo eh. Pre-pandemic, napakasarap mag-lecture. Kaso gusto ko kasi maging cooperation yung ating klase. And this is cooperation that I will also learn from you. And this is the reason, this is actually a topic for, one of the topics for today. In the globalized world, cooperation. Why is it important? But before that, kailangan maintindihan muna natin, at nasabi niyo na ito last time, na nagtatakda ng globalisasyon ay ang mayayamang bansa. To help us answer this question, we watched a documentary for our asynchronous class, and you had some guide questions because of that. The book and the documentary is called Guns, Germs, and Steel. The author is Dr. Jared Diamond. Okay. Magano lang tayo, no? Bumati lang tayo. Cyrus John Marasigan, Ana Cobales, AG Adiwang, my favorite signer. Hello po from the sign language community. Jem Maribeles Garcia Milan, Cyrus Marasigan Orlanda. Wala na pong klase, kaya makisit in daw muna sa live class ninyo. Patricio Salvador Bicaldo, Jeric Simpanlican, Ella May Iponla, Carlo Pensaconla, Leandro Beltran, Francesca Feliciano. Now, 23 watchers now. May double classroom tayo. There are 40 people here, there are 23 outside live, and there would be other ones who are going to watch in the next few hours. Daniel Augusti Lopez, Jonathan Tendero Habana, hello. Now, just to clarify for our audience, I will not do this regularly. So, asa pa kayo, no? The next parts of this class will be reporting. I am only giving the introductory lessons for why we have a globalized world. And that's why I asked the permission of my students to go live today. Kaya may permiso po nila ito. And again, I'm not going to do this all the time. And medyo weird naman yon kung laging online yung class ko. So parang hybrid din. High flex pala, no? May live, then merong nasa audience. But this is meron pong permiso ito ng aking klase, and again, it will not be regular. Kasi naman nagbayad ditong mga ito at kayong nasa live ay hindi. So, hindi pwedeng but I'm doing this because it's a special day for me in the globalization class in the GEWorld, because again, this is one of my first lectures that I'm doing this. I will handle this course for the next few years. And these are one of the few first times that I have. And to commemorate also this and to memorialize what I'm going to say this afternoon. So, and the class, of course, na talagang salamat po, no? Thank you. Michelle Evangelio Humawan, thank you so much. Rainier, everyone. Okay, 40 na po yung nanonood. Guns, Germs, and Steel by Jared Diamond. No? Una sa lahat, I would like to ask the question, no? Nakalagay naman supergroup pala. Okay, number 1, give me some fascinating things that you have learned in the documentary. There's a documentary. So, I'm going to call sa sumagot. Mr. Kanayon, are you here? Yes, Mr. Canayon.
From what I heard from the it was stated that civilizations are able to prosper in geographical locations where doon sa Indus Valley, you mentioned various they were able to flourish more than other civilizations because they had access to they had better access to
Okay.
farm.
Right.
Compared to like other civilizations like the one in Papua New Guinea. Like there maybe the reason why nahirapan po sila is because they weren't able to access like proper irrigation systems so that their
Very good. So, you're talking now about how rich countries became rich because they have access to crops, to lands, large lands, and animals that they were able to domesticate. Sige. Thank you, no? Maganda yan. Kasi question din yan kanina nung isang estudyante ko. Why are we not minding agriculture in the Philippines? We always say that we are an agricultural country. And a lot of the experts are saying we are. Vani Biernas, the economic historian, no, my colleague in De La Salle University, tells us that we are actually not an agricultural country. We are a trading country, not an agricultural country. No? But more on that later. Maganda yung question number 3 muna tayo. 'Di ba? Kasi doon nag-start yung usapan Question number 3. Babalikan natin yung sinasabi mo kasi yan yung pinaka-general answer ni Jared Diamond. Bakit sinasabi niya na may mayamang bansa at may mahirap na bansa? What is a cargo? According to the book and the documentary, what is a cargo and what is the implication of the meaning of it? Ayan. Number 3. Tingnan natin, ang sumagot. Sofia Santos, are you there? Yes, please.
So basically, cargo is yung parang material goods or resources transported sa New Guineans by the Westerners. And then, so from there, yung cargo na yun, pag tinatransport sa New Guineans, onti lang yun natutransport sa kanila. As pag sa Westerners, marami siya. And makikita rin yung inequality kasi nga, first of all, yung sa Westerners, mas develop yung sa kanila and so mas nakakakuha sila ng mga resources. And then, syempre, for Indians, since yun nga, kulang sila sa resources and then hindi rin nade-develop masyado, konti lang din yung napupunta sa kanila. And kaya yung cargo, sinasabi nilang evidence as like, may mas power yung Westerners.
Correct. So, to summarize for the audience on the television, by the way, my teacher in elementary, si Rizal Valenzuela, si Rizal, hello po. Science teacher ko to nung elementary. Thank you, sir. I love you very much, no? Marami, hello, Vanessa Nieves, Marvin Aquino, Leandro Beltran, hello, Geneva Winona Villa Elago, hello po, no? Karen Joy Cadiz, makasaysayang umaga, Rosita, hapon sa atin, Roque Balibegoso, no? Jess Hasarino, John Lord Lim, Miguel Oxenia Mateo, hello everyone. Okay. Sabi ng mga Papua New Guineans na mga ethnic groups, dumating yung mga early planes ng mga Westerners, no? At may mga dinadalang mga goods. Whether yan ay delata or at kung ano man. At ang tawag doon sa goods na yun ay cargo. No? Nag-isip ang mga Papua New Guineans, why are these people had so much cargo and why we have none? Bakit ang dami nilang binibigay na blessing? In fact, yung mga delata ni Diyos, ginagawang sacred objects ng mga Papuans. Kung naalala nyo, yung nangyari sa mga Mexicans, nung dumating si Hernan Cortez sa Mexico, di ba? Ginos din siya, maputi. Oh? Tapos galing sa malayong lugar, dumating, ginos. Oh, hindi nila alam, mawa-wipe out pala yung population nila kasi may ginal palang germs. May dalang smallpox na wipe out ang Aztecs. Oh. Unintentional biological warfare. Oh. Sa Papuans, iba. Galing sa langit yung maputing taong dumating. At may daladalang cargo. Mga blessing. So basically, the implication of the question is, why are there rich countries and why are we not rich? Jared Diamond tries to answer that. Pero ang kanyang perspective ay scientific more than historical. It's not even historical. It's about the past, but it's not historical based on documents, on what humans did. He was implying a more scientific reason why. But before that, no, puntahan natin yung fourth question. Di ba? O yung second question ba ito? Explain the way Papua New Guinea's ethnic group acquire food. Paano ba? Kasi kung sinasabi ng mga Papuans, bakit there's so much cargo? Ano yung ginagawa ng mga Papuans? Na inobserba nito ni Jared Diamond. Si Jared Diamond kasi mahilig sa ibon nito eh. Mahilig sa ibon. Ito nakakatawa, di ba? Mahilig tayo sa ibon. Yung mga enthusiast, nag-aral ng... Ngayon, ako, kaya kong i-identify. Yung mga ibon na yan. Oh! Pag lumipad yung ibon, alam ko na agad. Oh. Pati yung scientific name. Alam niyo kung paano? Kasi may Google Lens eh. Pag tinapata mo ng Google Lens, ma-identify mo na yung ibon. Di ba parang ano yun? Globalization din yun eh, di ba? Paano tayo nagkaroon ng AI na nakaka-identify ng lahat ng ibon sa mundo? Oh, eto pa yung gawain ng AI, di ba? May libro in French akong nabili. Puta, hindi ako nag-aral ng French, kaya kong basahin. Oo, kaya kong basahin. Ang galing ko eh. Di ba naalala niyo yung ano? May LDS ba dito? LDS, Latter-day Saints. Yung prophet si Joseph Smith, may nahanap na golden plates, mga kasulatan. Tapos tinranslate niya using a gadget. 1800s. Tapos na-translate daw niya yung Book of Mormon. May tinignan, meron glass doon, tinitignan, tapos natatranslate na niya, sinasabi, nababasa niya kung ano yung laman. Puta, hindi kaya si Joseph Smith ay nagkaroon ng Google Lens. Kasi yung Google Lens, itatapat mo lang sa papel eh, na Spanish, nagiging English. Itatapat mo sa French, nagiging English. At ginagaya niya yung sulat nung parang magic, parang Harry Potter, alam mo yun? Oh. The effect of a globalized world. Di nagagawa ng mga ninuno na. Alam nyo, I will tell you, hindi naman pre-globalization, ano? Pero, dati may Casio na parang calculator, 1994. Nandun yung dictionary. Calculator na dictionary pa. So, itatype mo yung word, sasagutin nyo. Walang internet, ha? Walang internet. I-built in yung dictionary. Tamanghang-mangha na kami doon. Eh ngayon, higit pa sa encyclopedia eh. Yung laman ng ano, di ba? Oh, anyway, that said, balikan natin si Papua New Guinea. Paano ba yung production ng Papua New Guinea? Sosa? Nandito ba si ano? Tunawagad ng baka, ano? Oo.
Unlike other countries around the world who have developed their agriculture through farming and domesticating and breeding their animals, our Filipino still uses and relies on hunting and gathering. And for hunting, they still use a bow and arrow, which is sometimes not efficient and sometimes can't even like pierce the animal. So it requires a lot of skill, stealth, and knowledge. And for gathering, they gather a sago tree, which requires them to chop it down, grind the pill, dry it, and pound it, soak it, and then and all just to turn it into dough, which is very time consuming and takes a lot of hard work. And despite having both of these, it's not able to produce enough food for their population.
Look, di ba? If you're going to look at how the Papua New Guineans were doing their food just to eat for the day, for lunch, di ba? Either they hunt an animal, di ba? Or gather. Nakita niyo yung pag-gather nila doon sa ano, puno? Kung paano, di ba? Puputulin nila yung puno, tapos kakayurin nila yung puno, nandun pala yung kinakain nila. My God, you spend all day just getting food. And you eat that food for just that day. Do you have food for tomorrow? No, you eat, you hunt again. But if you're going to look, the Papuans, the native Papuans, suddenly, nakita nila yung cargo. Oh my God. Galing sa eroplano yung pagkain. We don't even have to have a hard time doing it. So, doon nag-start yung book ni Jared Diamond, at yung documentary ng National Geographic on his book, na Guns, Germs, and Steel. So, bakit ang Papua New Guinea ay mahirap at bakit ang mga European countries, Amerika, bakit sila mayaman? Ano yung ino-offer na sagot ni Jared Diamond? Bakit mas maraming cargo ang mga Westerners? Puntahan natin ang sagot ni... Tindididin. Wait a minute. Kafeng mainit. Yung mga ibang group nag-iwahiwalay, ano? Super group na yung sinabi. Oh. Anyway, sige. Tingnan natin. Ay, bakla, wala. Sorry. Ito. Kiambao, Janine, where are you? Yeah, sige. Please answer the question. What was Jared Diamond's hypothesis? Why the Europeans are actually very rich and the others are poor countries?
So in investigating po kung bakit yung ibang societies progress faster and produce capital for cargo, Jared Diamond found two major reasons why, which is that some of the countries were more lucky in terms of geographical and agriculture, and as well as animal domestication din po. So basically, yung mga societies po na nakapag-produce ng mas nutritious crops
Correct. Look. Ang tawag doon sa teorya ni Jared Diamond, parang geographic lock. Pag sinabi mo geographic lock, yan ay tinatawag nating sa anthropology, environmental determinism. Environmental determinism. So bago tayo pumunta dyan, Vlad Balaw II, Lilian Soliman. Hello Vlad, thank you sa pagbibigay sa akin ng pirma ni Nas Daily. No, mamaya isasend ko sa'yo, dinikit ko na siya sa libro ni Nas. Ano? Lilian Soliman, Lawrence Vier Tatiera, John Christopher Castillo. Diba? Bakit naging conqueror sa mga Europeo? Yan po ang ating ginagawa ngayon. Ha? Alpi Rafael de Vega, Zaira Rabanera Arellano, no? Mark Louis de los Reyes, Chester Agustin, Maria Teresa Bautista, Jessica Dor, John Christopher Castillo, Marge Fanel, Chomi, Alexandra Perez, Daniel Herodias, no? Meron ako dati subject Great Works, no? So, meron akong subject diyan. Thank you po, no? Hello. Frame Quirinones, Quiapo Church, John Kamayan, Nona Sapanta, thank you. Jason Nare, Rods Varca, Zainab Kulmiye, thank you very much. Aaron Joshua Ganiron, Zolo Stretch, hello. Don Di Sapra, from Roa City, Cherry Ann Del Rosario. Thank you, Ma'am Cherry Al, sa Panublian Museum. John Christopher Castillo, hello. Thank you so much. Farel Relacion, Marwin Cascaño, Jordan Pasat. Sorry guys sayang nandito na sila. Last time hindi ko nabate, Joseph Sani Cristobal, nanonood ng live ko, no, sa National Commission for Culture and the Arts. Thank you very much. Ambet Ocampo, Sir Ambet Ocampo, thank you for watching the live last time. Vanessa Nieves, Luisito Pangilinan Olagario, Robinel Ann Pos Mamaed, John Carl Nastor, 49 watchers, Yedra, Maria Angelita Yedra, thank you. We go to environmental determinism. Okay. Very controversial ang theory ni Jared Diamond. Bakit? Hindi siya historical. Mas scientific siya. Which is, basically, dinidevoid mo ng agency yung tao. Supposedly. So, ano nangyari? Uy, bakit ka nandito? May sit-in. Hi ka. Hi. May sit-in, no? Sige. Nagulat ako. Sige. Hello, Mai. Hello po. Hi. Sige. Okay. Ninervyos ako. Sige. Hindi, ganito, no? Environmental determinism. Ano yan, controversial kasi parang sinasabi mong walang papel yung tao doon sa kanyang pag-rise ng mga na to. I don't think yung ganon. Okay? Sinasabi lang niya yung mga bagay na hindi natin ma-explain for lack of historical data. Diba? Kasi yung iba sinasabi, paano yung colonialism? Nag-acquire sila ng marami, kaya sila naging makapangyarihan. Politics, religion, institutions, meron silang papel lahat kung bakit ang isang bansa ay naging makapangyarihan. Hindi lang yung luck. Pero I think Jared Diamond wants to talk about things that were pre-record before the recording happened. At ito na nga, di ba nagkaroon ng major climate change sa mundo a few centuries ago, no? Na dati, alam nyo ba na ang Arab world ay hindi disyerto. Hindi disyerto. Kaya nga, di ba tawag doon, Fertile Crescent yung part na yun di ba noon? Nagkaroon ng major climate change at uminit. So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon ng push. Kasi di ba laging sinasabi, ang mahihirap na bansa ay nasa norte, ang mayayamang bansa nasa norte. ang mga bansa na mahihirap ay nasa south. Yung mga nasa south na yun, malapit sila sa equator natin ngayon. Yung equator na yun, napakainit doon. Nagalisan yung mga animal. Yung mga hayop. Hayop. Animals. Nagalisan yung mga hayop. Nagpuntahan sa mas malamig na lugar. Kaya lahat yung mga na-domesticate na nakain nila, nagpunta sa norte. Doon sa tinatawag na temperate countries. So, halos kakaunti yung naiiwan na doon sa mga maiinit na bansa. Na lahat yon naging mahirap. Halos. Diba? So, sinabi rin, nung nagkaroon ng major climate change, paano itatanim yung mga crops? Kaya, napunta siguro to yung mga processes, di ba? Mga ibon, di ba? Napunta din yung mga crops na madaling itanim sa norte. Ang tawag doon yung temperate countries, di ba? Oh. So, because they have more crops na pwedeng kainin, more animals na pwedeng kainin, they were able to stockpile food surplus. At ang kakantahin ko na lang dyan, yung kay di ba? Tidididit. Alam niyo ba yung song na yun? Tidididit. 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 Ito, ipapakita ko po sa inyo yung generational separation na. Tidididit. 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 Ano yun? Sing all you like. Wala nakakalam ng kanta, no? Sing all you like. People still need money for food. Hindi nyo alam kanta. Ano yun? Barbie's Cradle. Dito nyo makikita, mga kaibigan, yung separation, no? No? Ayan, no? Just Hazareno. Barbie's Cradle. Barbie Almalbis. Year 2000, the time you were born. Money for food. Dahil meron kang meron kang food surplus, pwede mong ibenta yun. You acquire wealth. So, hindi nagagawa yun noong mga Papua New Guineans. Gets? Kasi, hanap lang sila ng hanap ng food. Pero pag may stockpile ka ng food, ano yung pwede mong gawin? Kailangan ingatan mo yung food mo. At di gagawa ka ng army ngayon. Gusto pang i-expand yung dami ng pagkain mo, punta manakop ka ngayon. And there will be wars, and there will be, di ba? And the alteration of the environment through agriculture. Okay, people are saying, bakit hindi na pagtutuunan ng pansin ng agrikultura dito sa Pilipinas? O may sasabihin ako sa inyo, bakit sa West, napakalakas ng agrikultura? Industrial na nga sila, agricultural pa nga sila. Ito problema. If you want to have an agriculture that is lucrative, you have to have vast lands. Para maging mura, kailangan mas marami yung production. Pag maliit ang production mo, mahal ang iyong fertilizer, mahal ang iyong production, mas mahal. Okay, I'm not saying that it was not right. But for example, in the sugar industry, to be able to have a sugar industry na may, na may mga may mga mas mura at mas marami ang production, ang kailangan mo, again, vast tracts of land. Ano bang ginawa natin sa mga lupa? Hindi ba ni-land reform natin? Hindi ako agree doon sa land reform na pinamimigay patsi-patsing lupa. It's really useless. Ang maganda, gawin yung kooperatiba yung mga asyenda. And you still operate it as a vast land. It would be totally useless. Because with the small land, and you make tanim-tanim there, di kamote, and di konting lupa, the production is, ang laki-laki ng gastos mo, lalaki yung cost mo. Kaya talo tayo ngayon, globalization. Talo tayo ngayon sa angkat. Dahil sila, may vast land sila. At pag binili natin yung mga bigas nila, mas mura. So tapos mapapasukin natin yung kasukal ng ibang bansa, pinatay natin yung sugar industry natin dito. Alam niyo ba kung gaano kahirap ang sugar na itanim? You should watch, minsan papanoorin natin to sa klase, yung pureza. You know that it takes what? Di ba tinanim mo yung sugar? Do you know how many months before that sugar will grow? Before you can harvest it? Tama ba, May? 9 months. 9 months. Which they call the tiempo muerto. The dead time. So, anong gagawin ng magsasaka 9 months? Eh di wala. Eh di wala sweldo yun. Oh. Ganun kahirap po. So, marami kang trabaho, basas land, maraming trabaho, tas 9 months, wala kang trabaho. Tapos saka mag-aani. Trabaho na naman. Oh. Kaya pag nakita nyo, sabi nga, yung sugar daw ay crop ng tamad, sabi ng mga tao sa Negros, halimbawa, na malaki ang sugar farmlands. Crop ng tamad yan. Oh. So, habang 9 months, naghihintay sila, dahil sa laki ng kita nila, doon muna sila sa Paris. Yung mga family sa Negros. Paris muna sila, Roma muna sila. Ginagawang Boracay ang Roma. Ginagawang Boracay ang Paris. Epekto ng globalisasyon yan. Pero, eventually, mamamatay yung industriya na yan. O manghihina. At pahihinain din ng political forces yan eventually. Una sa lahat, yung pag-bankrupt ng isang crony ni Marcos dun sa sugar industry. Number 1, mismanagement and corruption. Number 2, yung land reform. Because it's totally impossible to plant sugar na again, I'm not against agrarian reform. Actually, mas gusto ko yung agrarian reform than land reform. Magkaiba yun. Yung land reform, you just distribute land. Yung agrarian reform, you develop the new owners to become new managers that can well manage such an enterprise to be more lucrative for the cooperative, for example. But there's no sense running an agricultural sector na walang vast lands. Now, with urbanization, eto, diba? Again, I'm not pro-bilyar, pero yung dumadaming population natin warrants, and especially in the places near Metro Manila, magkaroon ng maraming subdivision. Oh, part lahat yan. Di nawawala yung vast lands mo. Paano ka mag-agriculture? Dumadami yung kailangan ng may bahay. Oh, condo, ganun din. Yung condo. People say, why is there daming building urbanization? Oh, bakit? Ang daming tumitira sa Maynila, boy. Napapanganak. Every minute may napapanganak, boy. Kailangan nila ng bahay. Oh, para dun, pag nagtrabaho sila dito or what? Ay, ano ba solution dyan? Supposedly, devolution. Yung kapangyarihan ng Metro Manila, i-distribute sa mga probinsya yan. Eh supposedly, dapat nagagawa ng local government code yan. Kung magaling ang mayor nyo. Eh kung hindi magaling ang mayor nyo, kawawa kayo. Walang development sa lugar nyo. Lahat yan, sanga-sangayan na problema. So, yun yung ano doon, yun yung nangyari dyan. Bakit sa West, punta kayo sa US, ang mga plantation doon, napakalaki. Napakalaking lupa. Oh. Pero alam nyo, yung large-scale agriculture, actually destroys the environment. First, you have to alter the environment altogether. Rice terracing, di ba pinuputol mo yung mga puno doon? Pag ganon, yung greenery, you have to alter the environment to have mass production of agriculture. Di ba ang lalim na problema nito? So, kapag ganon, climate change na yung hahantungan mo dyan. Oh. These are all problems that since we have a globalized world, ay sanga-sanga, dikit-dikit. Urbanization, lahat na yan. Di ba mga kaibigan? Any comments? Violent reactions? Do you want to add something? So, ang sinasabi, ang gusto kong intindihin yung sinasabi ni Jared Diamond, hindi naman ito yung only reason why naging makapangyarihan ng Western countries. But he was considering something, an explanation, something that we can follow before recorded history. No? Na mas scientific yung approach. That the environment has something to do to why some countries are rich and why some countries are poor. No? But again, it's not totally geographic luck. Because, parang sasabihin mo, kaya mahirap ang Pilipinas dahil sa ating geographic location near the equator, hindi mo nasisisihin yung mismanagement ng leader mo. Hindi mo pwedeng ganon. You get me? Oh. By the way, yung environmental determinism is also part of the discussion in the life works and writings of Jose Rizal. O, saang part? Sige nga. Iba, wow, nagulat. Hindi pa kayo nag-Rizal. Hindi pa nag-Rizal, ano? Oo. Rizal wrote an essay called, may nakakalam ba doon? Kasi ano ba yung tanong lagi? Bakit tamad ang mga Pilipino? Isa sa mga sagot ni Rizal doon ay, kung titingnan mo yung ating environment na mainit, di ba? Tapos pinapatrabaho tayo ng Kastila, siyempre madali tayo mapagod. Kasi tinatawag tayong tamad. Di magpapahinga tayo. Napagod tayo eh. Tapos sasabihin ni Rizal, bakit? Sino mas tamad sa atin? Sinasapatusan nga kayo eh. But Rizal said, it's not the only reason why. The reason is colonialism. Because we're not tamad before the coming of the Spaniards. Why? We were trading with other countries. By the way, globalization yun, ha? Alam nyo na may mga, through Indonesia, for example, Islam came to the Philippines. And we will be commemorating in the next few years the 625th year yata of Islam. O 650th, I forgot. 650th yata of Islam in the Philippines. Yung Islam galing Arabia yun eh. 'Di ba? Tapunta dito sa Pilipinas. Before the coming of the Spaniards, 600 years ago. Globalization yun. So, yan. Nakalimutan ko na tuloy yung aking sasabihin. Pero, nasa na ba yung punto ko? Pilipinas, bakit pumasok yung... Ayun, ano tayo eh? Nakikipag-trade tayo with the world. I mean, with the world as we knew it, which was Southeast Asia, China. Diba? So, hindi tayo tamad. Bakit nagkaroon ng... Hindi naman niya sinabing hindi tayo tamad eh. Ang sinabi ni Rizal, may tendensiya tayo maging tamad, pero hindi tayo originally, naturally tamad. Naging tamad tayo dahil sa kolonyalismo. Because pinapatrabaho tayo na hindi naman sa atin mapupunta yung ating pinaghirapan. Napupunta sa iba. Walang ano tawag doon? Walang motivation para sumipag. You get me? Ganun yun. Alright? So, Mamaya, kumanta tayo ng bahay kubo, no? Pero bago ang lahat, mamaya. Rory Ikong, hello, nakabili daw siya ng History with Lord sa NBS katabi ng Binil. Thank you po, no? Sa pasay natin kay Lord yan. Patrick Lakindanong Kway, Father John Francis Frederick Manlapig, Father, mabuhay po kayo. Thank you po, Father Jeff. Elena Tracuenya, Ron Paul Estrito, Christine Alulino, Leandro Beltran, Peng Bautista Nuoco. Sir Peng, kumusta ka? Mabuhay ka. Taga-Tarlac siya, no? Childhood friend. Clarito Garcia, Diana Vista Facun, Cristina Mendoza, Joseph Palad Martinez, Esther Joy Taktay Dabuet, co-teacher natin sa Lasal. Hello po. Kisela Barquez, Leandro Beltran, ano? Yan, sabi niya, Sugar Hegemony from Philomeno Aguilar's Clash of Spirit. Importante din yung work na yon, ano? Thank you po. Abigail, Carmela Mendoza, thank you so much. Stefan Angelo Payad, Jasa Sereno, etc. Von Joshua Reyes, hello. Okay, time check po. It's 3:30 na, ano? Ang tapos natin 4. Okay, sige. Mag-attendance lang po ako, pasensya na po kayo. Mag-mute lang po ako, no? Mag-mute lang po ako. Hintayin nyo lang po na ako ay matapos at ibabalik po tayo. So, sandali, break lang po tayo. Mag-attendance lang po tayo. Thank you po. Yung Orozco, Nuela May. Okay. Kanta tayong Bahay Kubo. Alam niyo ba yung kantang yon? Sandali nga. Kantayin nga natin yung Bahay Kubo. Bahay Kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari, singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, patani, kundol, patola, upot, kalabasa, at saka meron pang labanos, mustasa, sibuyas, kamatis, bawang at luya, at sa paligid-ligid ay puno ng linga. Oh. Talaga nakanta nyo yun, in fairness. Kala ko hindi na alam ng mga bata yan. Oh, ito. Tatanungin ko kayo. Hello, Father Jade Liquanan. Kumusta po kayo, no? House cubes daw, kasi Bahay Kubo is cube. I'll tell you something. yung ano na yan, yung ano na yan, yung kantang yan, wala na sigurong mas pipilipinong kanta kundi Bahay Kubo. Ikino-conjure nyo na yung identity ng Pilipino, Bahay Kubo. Sabi ni Xiao Salazar, it gives us, when we teach the Bahay Kubo, parang ang tinitignan natin dito yung culture of smallness. Ano yung sinabi? Bahay Kubo, kahit munti. By the way, kubo yan kasi apat yung side eh. Cube house, Bahay Kubo. Okay. Kahit munti. So parang sinasabi mo, maliit ang mga bahay ng Pilipino. Culture of smallness, sabi ni Xiao Salazar. Di ba? Tsaka, pag tinignan mo, sabi nga ni Brad Pitt, mali yung Bahay Kubo talaga na song. Kilala niyo ba si Brad Pitt? Brad Pitt, alien? Alien. Bakit? Bahay Kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay singkamas at talong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, bataw, wala na yung Bahay Kubo. Puro gulay, niratat na yung gulay, di ba? Kaya anong akala mo, dapat palitan na lang yung title niyan. Mali eh. Dapat kung Bahay Kubo, kahit munti, hagdan kawayan, dingding sawali, dapat ganun. Dapat ang title na lang yan, ang aking hardin, di ba? O kaya ang niluto kong bulanglang, o ang kinain kong pakbit, di ba? O kaya, makulay ang buhay sa sinabawang gulay. Ganun na lang sana, di ba? Now, I tell you something, sabi ni Salazar, di ba? Hindi naman yung bahay ng Austronesiano ay maliit. Malaki. At sabi pa ni Bunny Biernas, the economic historian, our country is a medium-sized economy. We are not a small country. Sabi nga ni Gideon Lasco, we are not a small country. Alam niyo kung bakit ang tingin natin sa Pilipinas is small? Naku, sabi ko na ba ito last time? Sa klase, hindi pa, no? Alam mo yung Pilipinas, ang laki pala niya sa totoo lang. Pag sinalpak po sa Amerika, halos masasakop eh. Hindi sa width, yung height. Yung yung paganyan, alam nyo, hindi tayo maliit na bansa, ah. Nagmumukha lang tayo maliit kasi mali yung mga mapa natin. Kasi globe yung natin eh. Globe yung mundo natin, di ba? Pag finlat mo siya ngayon, doon ka magkakaproblema. Kasi nagmukha tayong maliit eh. Di ba? Alam nyo, nakakatawa. Malaki talagang bansa tayo. Malaki rin yung ekonomiya natin, 100 billion ng tao. Tsaka sabi ni Carlos, di ba si Carlos Romulo? Siya yung nag-sign ng United Nations Charter. Isa sa nag-sign. Hindi pa tayo malayang bansa. Part na tayo ng UN. 1945. Ha? Nakita niyo yung logo ng UN. Nasaan yung Pilipinas dyan? Kasi di ba mundo yun? Globo. Sabi kay Carlos Romulo, Sir, kung ilalagay namin yung Pilipinas dyan, maliit na tuldok na lang yun. Sabi ni Carlos Romulo, I want that. So kaya makikita daw kayo na that doon, Pilipinas daw yun. I don't know if that story is true. But, Carlos Romulo is a very small man. No? So she's the little giant from Kamiling, Tarlac. Balikan natin yung Bahay Kubo. Recently, a children's book from Savage Mind, Naga City, was published and it was written by Christian Sendon Cordero and the anthropologist, archaeologist Stephen Acabado, who hypothesized about the 400 years rice terraces. Okay. You have to understand, ito, akala mo children's book eh. Uta pagka binasa mo, mind blown eh. Mind blown. Kasi may pinapaliwanag tungkol sa Bahay Kubo. If you look at it, sabi nila, all the vegetables, Kasi ganito, sinimulan nila yung libro not on the bahay kubo, but showing, nung sinabi niyang bahay kubo kahit munti, yung mundo ay nasa ilalim ng araw at saka ng buwan. Parang pwede nang kantahin yun, ha? Sa ilalim ng puting ilaw, di ba? Tapos yung buwan mo dilawan. Bakit mundo hindi bahay kubo yung pinakita? Because if you're going to look at the crops that were shown, it shows us what we call homogenesense. Homogenesense. Okay. What is homogenesense? Ito yung pagkalat ng mga crops sa buong mundo from a certain area. One example, Latin America. Singkamas, mani, sitaw, patani, kalabasa, kamatis, bawang ay galing sa Latin America. Eh bakit tayo nagkaroon yan? Galleon trade. The early manifestation of globalization. Manila, Acapulco, Seville, galleon trade. All the other crops came from either Asia, Africa, or India. There are only 3 crops that are from the Philippines that are endemic here. That was mentioned in the Bahay Kubo. That's upo, labanos, and luya. So, di ba sabi ko, wala nang pipilipinong kanta pa sa Bahay Kubo. Look, that song Bahay Kubo tells us that we have a globalized world because a lot of those crops did not come from here. Yung mga ginagamit natin sa sangkap sa mga lutuing Pilipino mula sa hardin natin ay produkto ng mundo. So, from the culture of smallness, you now see in the Bahay Kubo a globalized Filipino. Whatever the Filipino is part of what the historical connections that we have made throughout the world. Do you get me? So I'm making a point about globalization that there's no such thing as pure Filipino. We are a product. Whatever it is that is Filipino now is a product of our connection with the world. Gets? Okay. One more point. No? According to the book. Di ba? One more point. Kasi kaya, di ba, may nagsasabi sa akin na tinotol ako, sabi, ikaw in-check ka, Xiao Chua, bumalik ka na sa China. Yung mga ganong hirit, ano? Hindi nakakatulong yan, ano? Hindi nakakatulong yan. Dahil wala namang purong Pilipino. Okay. Nasaan yung anong perspective yung kumakanta ng Bahay Kubo? Di ba ang gandang tingnan nun? Bahay Kubo, kahit munti ang halaman doon ay sari-sari, singkamas at salong. Ano siya? Siguro, nasa loob siya ng bahay. Tinitignan niya yung kanyang hardin. Tama? Mali. Mali. Alam niyo kung bakit? Bahay Kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari. Hindi niya sinabing ang halaman dito. Nasaan yung kumakanta ng Bahay Kubo? Wala na siya doon. Nasa lungsod na siya. At yung kinakanta niyang Bahay Kubo ay nasa isip niya. You get me? So, nagbago yung mundo, naalala niya yung Bahay Kubo. Nice, di ba? Marang, shit, oo nga, di ba? Oo nga, watangin ng Bahay Kubo song ito, ano? Hello? Parang ang dami mo palang matututuhan dito, no? Ang aral dito ay sari-sari. Nice, no? James Rosado Ramos, Mark Lester Acelis, Leandro Beltran, Alberto Rotacio Jr., may tita Daed, Edna Briones del Guzman, hello. Elena Traqueña, David Bautista, no? Hello everyone. Leandro Austin Cruz, Jasa Sareno, Amy Adiwang, Raymond Cruz, Marvin Reabad, etc. Thank you po. Hindi ko na kayo mababating lahat. Vanessa Nieves, Jem Rason, hello everyone. Gerard Baptiste, hello everyone. Okay. Last point, before 4 o'clock, meron akong papalabas sa inyo na video. But before that, I would like to i-end ko na yung broadcast kasi, hindi, okay lang. Papalabas ko to. I will refer to another book. So yan na yung kay Jared Diamond, ha? I will refer to another book na sikat sa Puli Book, kulay puti, na ang tanong ay, bakit naman ang tao ang nakapangyari sa buong mundo? Why do humans control the world? Why does this Homo sapiens sapiens control the world? And this is a work by the historian Yuval Noah Harari. Israeli historian Yuval Noah Harari. The name of the book is Sapiens. So, for you to understand, before you read the book, no, for you to understand his premise, you better watch this video of his TED lecture. To summarize the book.
70,000 years ago, our ancestors were insignificant animals. The most important thing to know about prehistoric humans is that they were unimportant. Their impact on the world was not much greater than that of jellyfish, or fireflies, or woodpeckers. Today, in contrast, we control this planet. And the question is, how did we come from there to here? How did we turn ourselves from insignificant apes minding their own business in a corner of Africa into the rulers of planet Earth? Usually, we look for the difference between us and all the other animals on the individual level. We want to believe, I want to believe, that there is something special about me, about my body, about my brain, that makes me so superior to a dog or a pig or a chimpanzee. But the truth is that on the individual level, I'm embarrassingly similar to a chimpanzee. And if you take me and a chimpanzee and put us together on some lonely island and we had to struggle for survival to see who survives better, I would definitely place my bets on the chimpanzee, not on myself. And this is not something wrong with me personally. I guess if they took almost any one of you and placed you alone with a chimpanzee on some island, the chimpanzee would do much better. The real difference between humans and all other animals is not on the individual level, it's on the collective level. Humans control the planet because they are the only animals that can cooperate both flexibly and in very large numbers. Now, there are other animals, like the social insects, the bees, the ants, that can cooperate in large numbers, but they don't do so flexibly. Their cooperation is very rigid. There is basically just one way in which a beehive can function. And if there is a new opportunity or a new danger, the bees cannot reinvent their social system overnight. They cannot, for example, execute the queen and establish a republic of bees, or a communist dictatorship of worker bees. Other animals, like the social mammals, the wolves, the elephants, the dolphins, the chimpanzees, they can cooperate much more flexibly. But they do so only in small numbers, because cooperation among chimpanzees is based on intimate knowledge, one of the other. If I'm a chimpanzee and you're a chimpanzee and I want to cooperate with you, I need to know you personally. What kind of chimpanzee are you? Are you a nice chimpanzee? Are you an evil chimpanzee? Are you trustworthy? If I don't know you, how can I cooperate with you? The only animals that can combine the two abilities together and cooperate both flexibly and still do so in very large numbers is us, Homo sapiens. 1 versus 1, or even 10 versus 10, chimpanzees might be better than us. But if you pit 1,000 humans against 1,000 chimpanzees, the humans will win easily for the simple reason that 1,000 chimpanzees cannot cooperate at all. And if you now try to cram 100,000 chimpanzees into Oxford Street, or into Wembley Stadium, or Tiananmen Square, or the Vatican, you will get chaos, complete chaos. Just imagine Wembley Stadium with 100,000 chimpanzees. Complete madness. In contrast, humans normally gather there in tens of thousands, and what we get is not chaos, usually. What we get is extremely sophisticated and effective networks of cooperation. All the huge achievements of humankind throughout history, whether it's building the pyramids or flying to the moon, have been based not on the individual abilities, but on this ability to cooperate flexibly in large numbers. Think even about this very talk that I'm giving now. I'm standing here in front of an audience of about 300 or 400 people. Most of you are complete strangers to me. Similarly, I don't really know the people, all the people, who have organized and worked on this event. I don't know the pilot and the crew members of the plane that brought me over here yesterday to London. I don't know the people who invented and manufactured this microphone and these cameras which are recording what I'm saying. I don't know the people who wrote all the books and articles that I've read in preparation for this talk. And I certainly don't know all the people who might be watching this talk over the internet somewhere in Buenos Aires or in New Delhi. Nevertheless, even though we don't know each other, we can work together to create this global exchange of ideas. This is something chimpanzees cannot do. They communicate, of course, but you will never catch a chimpanzee traveling to some distant chimpanzee band to give them a talk about bananas or about elephants or anything else that might interest chimpanzees. Now, cooperation is, of course, not always nice. All the horrible things humans have been doing throughout history, and we have been doing some very horrible things, all those things are also based on large-scale cooperation. Prisons are a system of cooperation. Slaughterhouses are a system of cooperation. Concentration camps are a system of cooperation. Chimpanzees don't have slaughterhouses and prisons and concentration camps. Now suppose I've managed to convince you perhaps that yes, we control the world because we can cooperate flexibly in large numbers. The next question that immediately arises in the mind of inquisitive listener is how exactly do we do it? What enables us, alone of all the animals, to cooperate in such a way? The answer is our imagination. We can cooperate flexibly with countless numbers of strangers because we alone, of all the animals on the planet, can create and believe fictional stories. And as long as everybody believes in the same fiction, everybody obeys and follows the same rules, the same norms, the same values. All other animals use their communication system only to describe reality. A chimpanzee may say, look, there is a lion, let's run away. Or look, there is a banana tree over there, let's go and get bananas. Humans, in contrast, use their language not merely to describe reality, but also to create new realities, fictional realities. A human can say, look, there is a God above the clouds, and if you don't do what I tell you to do, after you die, God will punish you and send you to hell. And if you all believe these stories that I've invented, then you will follow the same norms and laws and values, and you can cooperate. This is something only humans can do. You can never convince a chimpanzee to give you a banana by promising him that after you die, you'll go to chimpanzee heaven, and you'll receive lots and lots of bananas for your good deeds. So now give me this banana. No chimpanzee will ever believe such a story. Only humans believe such stories, which is why we control the world, whereas the chimpanzees are locked up in zoos and research laboratories. Now you may find it acceptable that yes, in the religious field, humans cooperate by believing in the same fictions. Millions of people come together to build a cathedral or a mosque or fight on a crusade or in a jihad because they all believe in the same stories about God and heaven and hell. But what I want to emphasize is that exactly the same mechanism underlies all other forms of mass-scale human cooperation, not only in the religious field. Take, for example, the legal field. Most legal systems today in the world are based on a belief in human rights. But what are human rights? Human rights, just like God and heaven, are just a story that we've invented. They are not an objective reality. They are not some biological fact about Homo sapiens. Take a human being, cut him open, look inside, you will find the heart, the kidneys, neurons, hormones, DNA, but you won't find any rights. The only place you find rights is in the stories that we have invented and spread around over the last few centuries. They may be very positive stories, very good stories, but they are still just fictional stories that we've invented. The same is true of the political field. The most important factors in modern politics are states and nations. But what are states and nations? They are not an objective reality. A mountain is an objective reality. You can see it, you can touch it, you can even smell it. But a nation or a state like Israel or Iran or France or Germany, this is just a story that we've invented and became extremely attached to. The same is true of the economic field. The most important actors today in the global economy are companies and corporations. Many of you perhaps work for a corporation like Google or Toyota or McDonald's. What exactly are these things? They are what lawyers call legal fictions. They are stories invented and maintained by the powerful wizards we call lawyers. And what do corporations do all day? Mostly, they try to make money. Yet what is money? Again, money is not an objective reality. It has no objective value. Take this green piece of paper, the dollar bill. Look at it. It has no value. You cannot eat it. You cannot drink it. You cannot wear it. But then come along these master storytellers, the big bankers, the finance ministers, the prime ministers, and they tell us a very convincing story. Look, you see this green piece of paper? It is actually worth 10 bananas. And if I believe it, and you believe it, and everybody believes it, it actually works. I can take this worthless piece of paper, go to the supermarket, give it to a complete stranger whom I've never met before, and get in exchange real bananas, which I can actually eat. This is something amazing. You can never do it with chimpanzees. Chimpanzees trade, of course. Yes, you give me a coconut, I'll give you a banana, that can work. But you give me a worthless piece of paper, and you expect me to give you a banana? No way. What do you think I am, a human?
DJ, I want it. Whoa!
Money, in fact, is the most successful story ever invented and told by humans, because it is the only story everybody believes. Not everybody believes in God. Not everybody believes in human rights. Not everybody believes in nationalism, but everybody believes in money and in the dollar bill. Take even Osama bin Laden. He hated American politics and American religion and American culture, but he had no objection to American dollars. He was quite fond of them, actually. To conclude then, we humans control the world because we live in a dual reality. All other animals live in an objective reality. Their reality consists of objective entities like rivers and trees and lions and elephants. We humans, we also live in an objective reality. In our world too, there are rivers and trees and lions and elephants. But over the centuries, we have constructed on top of this objective reality a second layer of fictional reality. A reality made of fictional entities, like nations, like gods, like money, like corporations. And what is amazing, that as history unfolded, this fictional reality became more and more powerful, so that today, the most powerful forces in the world are these fictional entities. Today, the very survival of rivers and trees and lions and elephants depends on the decisions and wishes of fictional entities like the United States, like Google, like the World Bank, entities that exist only in our own imagination. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Nice one, ano? Well, we have no time. 3 minutes more. So, I just leave a few thoughts. No? Maybe mapapalalim natin to in the next few days with our discussion. Especially yung, imagine nyo, no? We rule the world because of the stories that we tell ourselves. The nation doesn't exist. Sabi ni Benedict Anderson, it's an imagined community. But we made it real. There's globalization because there are nations. There's issue of globalization because there are nations. Diba? So siguro yung palaisipan na isasabihin ko sa some questions. Hindi mga questions. We are the stories that we tell. That's one reminder. Kung mga basura yung mga kinakwento at pinaniniwalaan nyo, diba? It reflects you, on you. We are the stories that we tell. Di ba sa ating mga kasama, no? Also, what would have happened to us during the pandemic if there was no World Health Organization? If there were no United Nations? You get me? Remember that a vaccine is only developed 10 years ang pinakamabilis. We were able to develop a vaccine in just a few months, probably more than a year. And then, ang pandemic ngayon ay 2 years pa lang. 2 to 3 years. And we're almost out of it. Yun yung sinasabi ni Yuval Noah Harari. Instead of, yes, we respect cultures. Yes, we respect that we should have more, nationalism and love of country and protection. But, cooperation is needed. We are all interdependent. So that we can survive. If we believe that we are brothers and sisters. World peace, world peace. So, sige po, no? If you have no more questions, live each day one at a time. Do not take yourself too seriously. Huwag kayong alis, mag-selfie tayo, no? Goodbye now and God love you. Thank you so much. And we're going to end the live. Thank you very much for our audience. Maraming po salamat. Pogi ni Sir ngayon, bagong gupit, ha. Thank you po. Ingat kayong lahat, crucially Devandas, etc., etc. Hindi ko na ho kayo mababati lahat. Salamat po. Ingat po kayong lahat. God love you. Bye-bye. Okay lang ba? Pakita ko kayo. Hi kayo. Oh, may permission yan nila. Hi. Hi. Yay.